What's up, everyone? You're watching Rit Rat Garage. So, a lot of people have seen the title of this video, the Miata of motorcycles, and a lot of people are probably going to say something like, well, you know that there's such thing as a moped, right? Yeah, but a moped has a very small motor. Look how big this motor is, but look how small this motorcycle is. Compared to me, I'm about, say, about 5'7", 8", and this thing comes up to about my stomach. And this hasn't been lowered, it hasn't been raised, it's stock height, and it's a little upper on the front, a little lower on the down. This is actually my motorcycle. If you've seen it in some videos, it's been hidden away and like maybe fallen over, but now we've got it back up, and it's also scratched up this gas tank, dented it, but overall it's okay. This is loose because I don't have the thing to it. This is here, just kind of swaying freely. Someone's gonna buy this anyway, and they don't really care what condition it's in. I just kind of put it back together. The carburetor is not on there. This motor has been rebuilt. It's also belt driven. Most everything's chain driven, and it doesn't have a kick. The kickstand's like tied up because that thing was loose. So basically, speaking of, yeah, it's on a wood plank. The seat is not, this is not the seat that comes with it, so it's got to be tie strapped. Has no mercy in big iron. If you wonder why I called it that, because it's just one big motor, like a revolver. It's a single cylinder motorcycle. They're pretty easy to work on, but the parts are pretty hard to get for. I mean, these things are crazy small. The Harley Davidson that's been burnt up with doing a burnout, which has no wheels, is just about the same size as this. Big single Suzuki Savage. What is this? The horn. Connected it back. The motor's been rebuilt. The carburetor's inside. It has no CDI box, but it did run. But we needed it for something else. And I'm going to answer the question are these good little motorcycles? The question is, what kind of rider are you? It has 100 on there, but I think pretty sure the top speed of this thing is like, I don't know, maybe 70. It will not go any farther unless going down a hill or something. Brakes are good. These are expensive wheels that are new. Tires too. They're pretty sure both of them are the same. I don't know which one has it, but they're Barracudas or Sakuras. If you can see it right there. I always thought it was a Barracuda tire, so I'm still looking. Yeah, no, Sakura, whatever. They're the same tire. No, that says Barracuda. I don't know if you can see, that says Barracuda. They're the same tire, though. Sakura, whatever. They're Barracuda. Maybe they're different tires, front and back. Either way, still, they're good tires. It looks pretty rough right now. Also, it's a thunderstorm, so I'm gonna have to get this thing all ready for the rain. It's just getting April. All the leaves are coming back. And this thing, let's just go ahead and talk about it. So, number one thing about it is It's a little motorcycle, so it's not that fast. The sound is pretty plain. To be honest, it's about as fast as most mopeds, but faster, a little bigger, and it's got a thump to it that mopeds, mopeds sound like little dirt bikes. At least these things sound like motorcycles, and they're incredibly small. People bob them out. They're cafe racers. That's usually, cafe racers. And they're pretty slow, but they are good for learning. Some people just don't like them. Some people like them. Say you're newish riding a motorcycle, you don't like big, fast motorcycles, you don't like sports bikes, then these bikes are perfect for you. When I'm saying that's like a Miata, most people don't like them. Miatas are like little cars, easier to work on, simple, basic. And this is like a Miata for motorcycles. And they're pretty hard to get problems with. They won't break down. It's just a simple Suzuki motor. It took about 2 days to rebuild the motor. I know that seems insane, but it's that small. Motorcycle engines are easy to rebuild, but this was like 5 hours a day nonstop working on this thing. I think the second day we worked on it longer. The reason I got this motorcycle is for working on a Corvette, future videos and stuff. It has the acceleration handle and this handle, but they're off right now because we were using them for another motorcycle. But they've been taken off. I just haven't got the time to put it back on. Hear that? It's the thunder. We haven't had a thunderstorm maybe a few months. Yeah, I'd say probably since February was the last time I heard thunder. It's all the way in April. Look at the brakes on these. Just look at that simplicity. The brakes are good. The motor, what I'm saying, it did run. It had everything on there. The carburetor is, it had been used on one, but the carburetor had 1,000 miles on it. It looks a little rough, but we cleaned it out. It had just been sitting in storage. It was perfectly fine. It just probably had a little dust on it. I don't know where the seat went. The rear fender was sticking off. But to be honest, it makes it look a little cooler. The shocks are good. It had a lot of new parts on it. Just basically little parts. Brakes, I'm pretty sure were replaced. Oh yeah, it's got drum brakes on the back and disc brakes on the front. I think the only brakes that are good right now are I don't have the handle to the brake. This is the clutch. And it is not connected, I don't think. The wire's there. I think it is connected, maybe. I don't know. But someone's coming to buy it, and they don't seem to have a big problem with it. For $200. Listen, the wheels were about $300. And it's got a seat to it, and that's worth something. The gas tank is clean inside. It's got the whole motor too that's been rebuilt. It has a whole new carburetor. And some extra little parts too. Airbox, wiring harness, belt part, frame, which has no title. I don't know what happened to the title. The title wasn't lost because of us. The bike was on someone's property and we just kind of picked it up. It was in a shop and they had no idea what happened to the title. Apparently the title went with the owner that used to have this bike. I think that he was the first one to have it, so it's probably had about 2 owners. The person who had it, who bought it brand new, and then us. The mileage on this thing is 17,669. Yep. I always thought it was 17,699, but no. This thing right here is so when you're driving it reflects, just to have something. What the heck was that? I don't know, some guy had a weird horn I just heard. So should you get one of these? Yes, if you're new. Yes, if you don't like fast motorcycles, if you just like them ride. Yes, if you want a little cruiser bike. No, if you want something fast. No, if you're kind of skilled. And definitely not if you don't want something this small. When I'm saying it's small, there's nothing to it. Look. You can kind of hold it up with one hand. which is not like a crazy thing. But just think about that as this thing is extremely light. The pipes on it are what came with it. It does have a battery, but it's not in. There's the airbox. And it's got the pegs and everything, just not connected straight. We're going to take the motor out. The headlight has a wasp's nest in there. Try to get them out. They go into the little hole right here. And kind of camp out. As far as I know, everything worked on the bike. We just took the CDI box out, and that's everything that's been taken out of it. It's missing the brake clutch thingy, the handle, brake handle. Dang. The thunder's bad. I get scared of thunderstorms because when it rains so hard and the wind, but it's not really windy. Let's see if this thing survives to it without falling over. This thing does fall over very easily without a kickstand straight on there like it is, just leaning up. The steering on these is actually pretty good. You don't really have to lean over too much if you're driving. It doesn't have any keys to it, but I mean, it just needs a new ignition with the key already to it. But this is going to be it for this video. I mean, I'm just telling you about these bikes, some things that people won't tell you just to get a video out. And I mean, this is a pretty clean bike, but it needs a better owner, and everything worth here is $200. A lot of people are saying, "Yo, you're scamming people. You're probably scamming people. It should run." The CDI box in this thing's $200. Buy it. Look on eBay for a brand new motor. Look, a starter is like $50 or something. All the parts on that. I mean, the wheels too. The rims. I had got people wanting to buy them for like $150 for the two of them. And I'm just throwing everything together for $200. That's $200. Okay, you buy a CDI box. You could save it, or you could wire your own CDI box. Like, it either costs cheap. You can get like these $15 ignitions. You could part one off of a CDI box for like $50. Get all the parts to it. Probably like that'll cost you, if you really save it too good, about $500. Not in parts, but probably about $300, $250. And after that, it runs, it should drive, it needs a little attaching, and then boom, you got a running, driving motor. So it has no title, but you can still ride it on the road with some tags or something, have fun with it, ride it around the yard. That's what we did with it with no title. It's the first bike I ever drove. I don't have video proof of me driving it. I drove it probably like, and then stopped because riding this thing I had the seat on it, and the seat, the foot pegs weren't connected. So I cramped up my leg real bad. And if it's so bad, just put your feet right here. No one's going to drive with you. And that's the other problem is if you're a heavy person, the suspension's going to bog down. This bike is for lighter people. And if you got two people on there, this bike is going to be a lot slower. Anyway, this is going to be it for this video. So if you do see a 650, this is the 2003. This video is informing you if you're the right kind of person to buy it. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios.